A'udhu billah, bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome back to the class 2 of the BDE class on Microsoft Word, and I hope that in our previous class we're able to assimilate as much as possible on the conclusive part of the Home tab and the Insert tab, which hopefully we are looking forward to finish Microsoft Word today, inshallah. I'm going to give the most important points in which you can use to build your basic needs, inshallah. So I think without taking much of the time, we have 6 participants going. So okay, if you have any question, you can please jot it down so that when we when we are concluding the class, you can be exercised. So as stated earlier, or as that been the practice, I'm going to be sharing my screen so that we have a continuation. So I think something here. Yeah. So can we all see my screen? Hello, can you all see my screen, please? Can someone speak up?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
You can see, sir.
Okay, that's great. Okay, we are on the Insert tab. This is the Insert tab, and we have looked at all these. So we are not talking on how to put symbols. We said we have different equations. This is one of the equation that we tried importing from our insert option. So this is it, and you can always manipulate it as you want. You can change and so on. So this is it. So it's better the way we are doing it. I will advise, this is a more practical aspect. It's very important if you have a computer that you are also doing that at the same time. So that will assist you more in understanding what you are doing. Or maybe after the class, probably you will take your computer and practicalize it, but the best is, as we're doing as well, you are maybe practicalizing 1 or 2 things. So that is the insert symbol. We have many other equations. We have the binomial theorem, the expansion of the sum. We have, as soon as they are, we have the trig identity and so on. So you can always import this, and you can find more equations online. If you are connected with your data, you can just click on this and go online and find more equations in case it is not there, or more formulae. So we also have symbols. We have different symbols. Maybe you want to use the Naira sign, you want to use the hash, you want to use the dollar sign, you want to use Gasinandi. Anyone you wish, you can use it. So that is that for the Insert tab. Then we now move to design. The design here, it's more of a title. When you have a title, let's assume I'm working on, okay. Yesterday I was trying to import something. There is a way of including a sample, a random paragraphs and texts, maybe paragraph and sentences. So you just type on equal to rand open brackets. Maybe if I want 4 lines, 4 paragraphs, then I'm going to put 4, 4. Then close the bracket. Immediately I press enter, is going to bring me 4 paragraphs, 4 lines by default. Yeah, by default. So it's because it's larger. Let me change the sizing to, 14. So this is 14. Normally, it comes by default. The word comes by default, I think is 11 or 12 point. So that is why I see that now it is more than. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think mostly it comes in 11 pt. So that is why it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want 4, as I stated, I want 4 paragraphs. Each of the paragraphs should contain what? It should contain 4 lines. So this is what it gives. But for us to see very well, I'm going to increase the sizing of this. So while increasing the sizing of this, as we stated yesterday, so we are going to have something like this. So we are on the design. We have, when you have a title, this is not a title, but just for practical sake, so you can select, so you can see it is changing. That one we selected, you see it is changing, both the spacing. These are just options for you that you don't need to go and start putting line spacing and so on. So it is already made for you, and we have as well different ones you can always use here and maneuver. So that's that. So we now have the color as well. You can always use this to, you can always use the predefined colors depending on what you want. That means when you are using a template that has a color, for example, I'm using this. If I have some subtitles that I have set, you have to set this actually earlier. Let's assume I'm using something like this. And this is a subtitle, and already I inserted a color on it. So it's expected to, it's because I did not earlier give it a title. Had this been I gave it a title, it could have worked better actually. So anyway, you can maneuver this. I think it's going to take much of our time, being that we have a little time. So it's not that something hectic. So this is also a theme that I think I'm supposed to start with. You can select a theme for your presentations. Yes, you can always select a theme for your presentation. Let's assume I want to select a theme here. So this theme is what is going to be attached. Should we just work on this? This. Okay, sorry. So if you notice here, this, as I said, they are just sort of design that have already been made for you. If you look at this, it's only changing the text type, the heading, and so it will always, had this been at beginning, this is the home. This is the home. We have here where you are supposed to put heading 1. Let's assume I name this heading 1. So I'm supposed to come here, I tell the computer that this is a heading 1. So it has already saved it here. So let's assume I have another one here. And I told it that this is heading 2. We have heading 2. So it's going to save it as heading 2. So whenever I want to change my design, in which I give all those heading 1, you see that all the heading, this is a heading 1 font. So immediately I click on it. So this will continue changing the size of the heading. You see, it has changed it to this type because I've already named it. I've already programmed it at earlier stage that you should save it as heading 1. So others will not change, but only the heading in which I have selected. You see, these are the headers. So this is just it, and the color here, as I told you, you can always use different colors depending on anyone you want. There are different various type of colors. So those writing projects or book, you don't need to start putting box or color for every heading, so you can automate it. And at the same time, you have the fonts. You can always change the fonts of your headers too, of your design. So you see it's going to change depending on anyone you want. So that is that. So we also have what you know as the paragraph spacing. You can expand the spacing. You see it is changing depending on what line spacing option do you want to do, you want to have. And you can also have what we know as the effect. The effect, actually, this is the effect. This is when you are using, when you want to transition or you want to animate something or so on. So you can always, maybe you want to play something around. Okay. You want to play something around, you can give it an effect so that whenever you are presenting it, it's going to actually, that effect is going to be reflected. So that is that. I think it's a while I do not use this as well. So you can save all these settings you did maybe to one to all others, so you can set it as a default for others too. And that is that. So now I want to now put on the watermark. What is watermark? Is what, just like you see here, something like this that it shows in the background of your document. So the watermark here you're seeing, this example, is it you want it diagonal, you want it in this size, or you want it anyhow. So these are the ones. So this is just confidential. These are ready-made templates, and as well you can change it. Maybe it is not confidential, you want to put, maybe you want to put that watermark as your own. You can customize it, and you can find more on this, and you can customize it. So when customizing, you have, this is already this is a watermark, and it is named confidential. Let's assume I want to make it BDE manual. BDE manual. So for the BDE manual, I want to make it diagonal or horizontal, anyone. So I want to make it diagonal, semi-transparent. So I'm going to press on OK. So you see it has changed to BDE manual. You see it has changed to BDE manual. So you can always see, and you can even make it picture sometimes. You can make a picture to be your let's assume your logo or so on. So for example, when we have something like this and we want it to be a picture watermark, so I'm going to select the picture here, then go to my file where the picture is. Let's assume this is my logo. Let's assume this is my logo here. So I'm going to insert it. When I insert it, I press on wash out. You want it to show very well. You are going to unclick this. So immediately you put it, you see this is the image here. It has become the watermark. So this is how to put a watermark. Then you also have what you know as the page color. That is, what color do you want your page to be? See, because this is the watermark, it's affecting the color there. You can as well remove the watermark. I can remove it if I don't want it again. So the watermark applies to all the pages actually. So the color paging, so let's assume I want to make a letter-headed paper and I don't have a color paper and I want a brown, so I can put it here and I'm printing it on a printer, a colored printer. So this is how it goes. So this is how it goes. So you can change the color at any time. So this is it. You can change color of your prefers and you save it as well. So that is that. Then we have what you know as the page borders. The page border is what surrounds your document. If you want it in a box form, you can change. You can always use. We want a 3D. You have them. You want it to be whole document or only this section or this page. You want it depending on how thick you want it. For example, I want it to be very thick, and or if I want it to be art or something, I don't like using this more. So let's just use this and press OK. You see there is a border that surrounds all the pages. So this is the border. So you see all the borders are there. So this is how to format your page actually. Then you can use all other border options. You want it dotted. If you want it dotted, you can as well use it. Then select how thick you want it. So this is it. You see it has changed, and so you can use actually shapes as well. If you're writing a textbook or a notebook for primary school student or so on, maybe you are talking on the forest, so you can use this. So you can see it's changing actually. So this is how to use it. Next thing is we go to the layout. The layout, this one, it has to do with margin, especially those that do printing. Maybe depending on how you want to print it, you want to centralize your page or you want to make it customized. For example, when you press this, it's going to change. You might not actually see the effect of this very well, except when you are printing or you are arranging some document or you want to make it mirrored or so on. So mostly it comes in default, which is the normal default size. Orientation, just like someone asked a question yesterday, that how does it change a page from the imported page from Excel from portrait to landscape? So you just come here at the orientation under the layout. So you just landscape. So you see everything has changed to landscape. You see, maybe I'm making a presentation, so it will automatically change to landscape. I know maybe some people do not understand this very well. I have to zoom in. So you can see the page here is not portrait. So, but immediately I change it to landscape, you see it's going to change. It's becoming taller, while this one is becoming more wider. So you can always do this for your presentation as well. The sizing as well, is it what type of paper are you going to print on? Is it illegal? Is it exclusive? Is it A4? You know, we usually make use of A4 paper. You can make it A4, you can make it, if you're writing a letter, you can make it a letter, depending on how you expected to send the file or print the file. Then columns, you can make your write-up, the whole of this write-up, you can make it to be in a column form. For example, I can make it to be a 2-column. For example, you see it has turned to 2-column. This is how they can make it 2-column for this page. And you can also do it for the whole of the document. And you can make it to be of 3 columns. This is a 3-column. So you can see. So at the end, you can make a pamphlet yourself. You can design a pamphlet, just a poster for yourself or for an event. You can give it to people so you can fold it into 3, trifold. So you can as well make it, can style it the way you want, and so on. You can always make use of this the way you want. I'm only zooming in just for you to see how it looks like, so you can see it has become like this. So let me zoom in back so that we have a better clarity of what I'm doing. So line numbers, okay, we are done with column. Okay, so these are other, you can break the page when you don't want, you can want to break the page between this one and this one. I don't want what is here to affect this one. You can always break the page. You can also do number the line numbers. You can always use it as well. Continuous or so on. So you can number, this is line 1. Okay, let me zoom it in. You can see this is line 1. So if I want to number the lines, the whole lines, let's assume up to this place, so I can number them and say continuous. So you see, this is up to, I can say at line 38 here. So you can see it has changed. So that is how to do that. And you can make hyphenation. This is you don't need any for now, and if you want them, you can make it automatically. So it's going to put hyphen. You see here, it's telling you that complete each other. So it's putting an hyphen here to understand that, okay, this is not a, this is a continuation, but if I don't want, then I can put none. So you see this complement each other here, it has changed it here. But I believe we all know what is hyphen and when it is used. Maybe you are writing something on a line and the word is too long, so you have to put an hyphen. This is the indent. Indents. I think we don't need to take this. It's going to consume most of our time. We have less time to go. Yeah. So this is indents. You can make your indents based on the figure you put it. Let's assume indentation. You can make it, you can see it's going to be changing. So it's going to be moving to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, depending on how you want it. So this is how to indent. Okay, the same thing to the right, to the to the right. Yes, this is to the left, while this is to the right. So this is how to go about it. Let me return it to 0. By default, it's supposed to be 0. So while this 2 is supposed to be 0 by default. So line spacing, we discussed this yesterday. How many do you want it? We don't need to come about this. We've also discussed all this, I think, yesterday. So this is when grouping an object or so on. Maybe here we have some objects here. You have some objects here. So let's assume I want to group this. This is a shape and this is another shape. So I want to okay, we've discussed on this yesterday. So today, I believe positioning this, if you do not forget, when we talk on, when you bring in an image, you want to position it, or you want to bring something forward. Let me just, okay, this is this, it is in front of this, right? This shape. Then I want to bring it backward, send backward. When I press this, send back, I'm going to send it to the back. While when I want to bring it forward, I'm going to press on bring forward or bring it to the front. So this is it. I can always align this and this. Alignment, you can align them based on how you want it. Align to page, align to margin is align to margin and so on. So you can always align them based on how you want it actually. And as well, you can always rotate, maybe image or so on. You can always rotate. Let's assume this image here. This is an image here we are using. So when you use this image, you can always rotate it. Rotate 90 degrees, rotate left, vertical, horizontal. So you can always change the way you want it. So you can make somebody left to become right and right to become left. So this is actually how to do that. And this is referencing. I won't take this actually. This is when you're making table of content. This is entirely another lecture. When you're having a project or you are writing a book, so you want to make table of contents, so and you want it to be automated. So you can add text, update tables, insert footnotes, insert endnotes, and so on. And you can search. You can insert citation when you are citing the work of someone. You can use different referencing style. You have the upper, We have the Chicago GB717. Mostly Nigerians will use APA style and the IEE. I think that is international and so on. So this is the A upper side and so on. So depend on maybe those that goes for conferences or presentation, they will tell you that they want you to submit your file, your referencing style should be on an upper style or an AEE and so on. So whenever you want to do that, you can come here and do. So you can make your citations the way you want. Bibliography, when you're making a bibliography, you can always use this to do that. You can manage your source, insert caption, maybe you want to bring in an image or so on, and so on. And you want to mark maybe a citation and so on. So I'm not going to check this actually. It's a program, it's a course on itself, but yeah, referencing, because you have to even know what is even referencing. Not even everybody knows what is referencing, the styles, how to reference, what is even citation. So that is another lecture on its own. Mailing, when you are sending something, when you are sending something, you can always use this and so on. Maybe you want to convert something to an envelope. The same thing, this one too. Mostly we don't. You can always export after you finish your file and so on. So you can, this is the address you want to send it to. And this is, as you can see, maybe if you have an address you want to put it into, so you can use this to put it if you have your address on your own and so on. So, and not only that, this is, any problem?
Hello, Magana, is it?
No, Abdulkadir, are you saying something?
Yes, sir.
No,
The
sir.
network is poor.
No, sir.
Okay.
We can't hear you. Your voice is scratching.
Okay. So that is that. Same thing, I'm not going to actually touch more of this. You want to start emailing merge or so on. Please, you can just work on this. You can work on this, really use actually. Then you can also have a review. You want to spelling and grammar. You want to check your grammar if there is any grammar error or so on. Let's assume you spelled something wrong and you want to check your grammar and so on. So it's going to assist you in checking it off for the whole of your document. So these are the errors that it's telling you that you wrote, which is not recognized. So you have to, if you want to ignore all, you see it is underlining this place. But if it's words that are not English, so you want to ignore all, you can just ignore all. So you can ignore all. So when you ignore all, it's not going to underline it anymore. So that is that. Then word counts, you want to know how many words are in the whole of your document. Control A is all. When you want to highlight everything, it is Control A. So you want it to word count. So it's going to tell you pages, you have 7 pages, words, you have 338 words, characters, no space with no spacing, 1,465 characters with space. This paragraph 45 lines, 148 lines, include text box and so on. So this is just to tell you to justify your, this is to justify your work actually. Then you also have the check accessibility here. I don't use this often. So you can, your language as well, you can translate actually. We're having, this is what I'm trying to make. We're having less than 10 minutes. Okay, you can always change your language. You can make it to translate your work if you are connected online, I think. So you can translate the whole of your document from English to Hausa, from Hausa to English, and so on, using the AI. So depending on the office you are using, And your language, you can change the language and so on. So this is it. And so on. You can always use this. You can compare when you have two files and you want to merge and you want to compare. So you can always use this to compare your file 1 to your file 2. So you can protect your file. You can restrict it from being edited. You can restrict someone from editing your file using this. And you can hide the links inside your file so that it is only accessible to you. So I think that's all for this view. This view has to do with read mode. We've already discussed this yesterday. Reading mode, you want it to, no, don't do this. Don't do this. Sorry, if I want to go back, sorry, I am a bit OCD. I want to go back to my main folder here. So these options here are what we discussed here yesterday in the reading mode or so on. These are all what we discussed yesterday. You can move back to yesterday. You want to make an outline and so on. These are rulers. If you want a grid line so that it show you the grid lines on your document, you can always use this too. The grid line, they are just like a graph, and the navigation panel and so on. The ruler here, we also have the ruler here. You can unlink it and put it here. You can zoom. All these are things that are already used here and so on. You can record your macros and so on. So this is for the help option. In case you have any option, you can contact for support. You can call them directly. You can send a feedback. You can show your training and so on. Maybe you are applying for a certification or so on for a course on this. So this is where we are going to stop today. We are already having less than 7 minutes. So we use the 7 minutes to entertain questions and so on. So I hope you enjoy the class and you will learn 1 or 2 things actually. So this way I'm going to stop for today. So we use the remaining time to make some conclusion. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for giving us your cooperation, and I have 2 questions. Well, I will say I have a question, and my computer, sir.
Yes, sir.
In my Microsoft Word.
Yes.
It is 2010 version.
Yes.
So I don't have a design tab.
No.
As I can see in yours.
Yes, it's like you're not in yesterday's class actually. We've explained this yesterday. There are differences in the versions of the Microsoft Word. Some are upgraded. So you will have to change your Microsoft Word version to 2016 or 2019 or the higher. So that's
okay.
You have that access, inshallah.
Okay, so sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to have more clarification on that watermark under page layout, sir.
Watermark, what clarification, sorry?
Yes, sir.
How to use
it? I want more information, sir.
Okay, I'm going to upload the video on the channel so you can rewatch it, please. Maybe you joined lately, so I've explained that on how to use, so you can recheck how I did that, so that you'll be able to entertain others' question as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other question? Do you have any other question? Okay, I want to believe no any question. I believe everyone has perfected this actually. There will be an assessment at the end actually. Yes, there will be an assessment. So I always check those that are on the class, and I have my list actually. Yesterday, I was trying to say something on the certification, which I think, let me just clarify it now. Is for those who attend the class, mostly, I can see, I know them. Yes, I know Zaradin Muhammad Yunusa. It's like you just, Zaradin Musa Muhammad. I'm not sure if I have you on my list very well.
Yes, sir.
Zaradin Muhammad. How many times have you attended the class?
Yes. Sir, I as in since from the beginning, sir.
Really? You changed your name probably.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. No.
Okay, yes, Zaradin.
Since from the beginning, yes, sir.
Yes, Zaradin Muhammad.
Even yesterday I attended, but though I've been skipping because I'm at work.
Okay. Mukhtar Nasir,
Yes, sir.
for sure. I know he used to attend the class. Yes, Mukhtar Nasir. Abdul Qadir, it is today you enter the class. Idris or Bayemi, it's only today you started attending the class. Yes. Then Salisu Garba is a regular, he used to be. Manel Abdullahi, he used to actually attend the class. So I have the record of everything. So don't forget, we are recording this session. So for those who usually attend the class, and maybe for those of you who joined today, probably, in case anything, Abdulkadir more than 5 times, really? Abdulkadir, ka ji tsoron Allah mana.
Ramadan ake fa.
To Ramadan ake a gaya mai dai.
Okay, yes,
Yes, Hafsa ma tana attending, yau dai bata zo ba.
Yau bata attending ba, Hafsa tana attending sosai kuwa, tabbas. Da mai iPhone. I do what in the
iPhone shi baya da suna ai, kowa zai iya ma claiming.
ai na ga zan ga ni na gane shi.
Haba.
Sai kuwa. So that is that. So I want to advise kowa ya buɗe Hotmail account. Yanda ake buɗe Gmail account, the same thing, just open a Hotmail account. So that is what I'm going to use to submit your name for the certification to Microsoft. So that will, I'll give you the Microsoft link that you're going to sign in. Wannan ɗin manhajar su Microsoft sai ku a nan ne za ku downloading certificates ɗinku actually. So ina son kowa ya buɗe Hotmail account in shi, ban ce kuma a je a typing a cikin group ba, shi yasa ban bana discussing din shi a group. So wayanda suke online, so wanda suke attending class din, more important, na san sunayen su gaba daya. So ku buɗe Hotmail account na email kenan, na Hotmail. So you send me your Hotmail account maybe by next week, so that and you can still send it to me maybe today or tomorrow within Gavande Magama class. So I'm going to use that to submit your names for certification, inshallah. So at the end of the program, you can have your certification. Kuma daga cikin da za ba certificate, akwai wanda suka yi cohort 1 din gaba ɗaya za mu haɗa da su, wanda zai kasance Microsoft za ta ba su certificate akan sun program. Don ko kuma ce sun kun karanci wannan abu, inshallah. So wannan kenan. We have less than 1 minute, okay. So I think the class is going to end. If you have any other thing, we can discuss in group. Something that we're supposed to discuss in group.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
so next week zamu shiga Excel ne kenan ko PowerPoint?
Zamu shiga PowerPoint next week, inshallah. Excel, I'm not sure in ni zan dauke ku, but when maybe one day dauke ku data science shi ne zai dauke ku, but hopefully by next week day we are going to determine, inshallah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So it has been determined kenan cewa data science ne, tunda majority voted for.
Tunda kun zaɓi data science ba?
Ni dai web development su ne suka zaba.
Oh, Allah ya taimake mu ya mana agaji.
What they said, the majority carried the votes.
So inshallah, Allah ya mana agaji.
Amin, amin, sir.
Ina gaida madam.
So happy Ramadan too. Allah ya karɓi ba don.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Amin, amin.